Ladies and gents, welcome back again for a new video. So, Linux, Lite. Everyone talking about Linux. Everyone hates on Linux. Ooh, that's a whole different level. Yeah, there's people that say it's on Linux. When you ask them why, they don't give a specific reason. Or at least, they don't give anything that's make any sense. They reply with nonsense, bullshit. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I made this channel. One, to hate on those specific people and to roast the shit out of them. Second, to share my experience. I started using Linux around 3 months ago, and no, this one's like 51 days. I started using Linux before this 51 days. I just reinstalled this multiple times. But like, to give a number, I would say I started like using Linux around 3 months, 4 months ago or something like that. And so far it's been going so good, I would say. Like, it's been going amazing. The journey is just perfect. For a beginner in Linux, I didn't really face that much problems. I had to learn some things the hard way, but overall, I had a good experience with Linux. But one thing I don't like about it is gaming, and that's for sure. I'm not the only one suffering from it. It's fine. But we know that Linux, it's not perfect when it's working, but it's good. It's something. It does work. And there is a lot of developers working, doing their best to make Linux good when it's working. The thing is, that really annoys my ass so bad that I want to yell. I want to like, get mad and shit. Is that I go to, I don't know, subreddits, forums online, and you must, as a Linux user, you must face that one Windows user that never used Linux, never in his life used Linux and still would like to hate on Linux. So you're telling me you've been using Windows for your whole life and you never tried Linux, but you still hate on it. Like, what do you expect me to do? Like, expect me to give you some time and attention and listen to your stupid bullshit, to your nonsense? No, I will look at you for like literally 5 seconds and they keep looking at you, being disgusted with you and your stupid mentality. Because when you think about it, these kind of people that hate on an operating system that was made to save them from those greedy companies like Microsoft or Apple, but they still hate. Like, imagine this whole thing is open source. Everything is just free and everything is just customizable. You have your freedom. When you install Linux, you get your freedom. You get what you want, or at least some of it for free. You don't have to pay anything, but you still hate on it. You still don't like it. Like, you feel like if you don't pay money and waste a lot of your money, just like you do with Windows licenses and all that, you feel like bad. It feels weird, right? They've been using you all this time. They've been taking your money all this time, and you're happy about it. But when we tell you that there is something that can give you the freedom you want, you don't like, well, that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the Linux gaming, right? Because I've seen, a lot of things going around lately where Linux is getting better when it's about gaming. Especially this year, there was like a lot of big updates where Linux, leveled up, and we have better performance in some specific games. We have more game supports. If we go to this website over here, it is for sure, like Proton BB, more than 20,000, man, more than 20,000 games. That's all work on Linux. I'm not gonna say they're like 100% working. Some of them gonna have problems. Some of them gonna be bad, good. Doesn't matter. You can see we had the platinum, the gold, the silver, the bronze, and the bar. 20% of them at least. But still, for something that started decades ago, let's go back to the 1994 when Doom, the legendary Doom, was ported to Linux. That was like a big day. 1994. I wasn't even born back then, but I'm sure the people that had laptops or desktop with Linux, like Red Hats, for sure they were having so much fun. Imagine you play Doom on Linux instead of playing it on Windows, which back then MS-DOS, And then in 1996, there was that game called Abuse that was ported again to Linux by the same developer, by the way. I don't remember his name. We did like an article about it a long time ago. But like in 1996, that game, I don't know when it was made or what the story behind it, but there was that game called Abuse, and a lot of people were playing it, enjoying it. I played it. Me, personally, I played that game. It was like cool back for like 1996. That thing is cool. And this was like ported to Linux. And then more games and more games and more games just gets imported to Linux. And here we are now, from a game to 25,595 game being available for Linux. So, Mr. Windows user, what do you have to hate on? I mean, yeah, sure, you're gonna mention that Linux has only 4.1% share market, while Windows has 70%. But when you think about it, that's open source, by the way. It's free. It's something. But if I'm gonna be honest, it still needs some time to develop itself. There is a lot of updates updates that need to be made and a lot of work. A lot of work, to be honest, a lot of work. I still use Windows to play some games. I still, have it as a side operating system. Mainly I use Linux, all right? Like 99%, even like video editing. I used to do video editing on Windows. Now I moved completely to Linux. One thing that really annoys my ass is gaming. It's like, even though I have an old machine, that's like Core i5 6th gen, but I still want to play some video games. I still like want to have some fun. And Linux doesn't give me like an ideal experience. The last time I wanted to play Half-Life 2, I installed that thing on Steam. And when I wanted to launch that game, like my favorite game, when I wanted to launch the game, it just didn't work. And I didn't want to go through the headache of just trying to find a solution. Even though I did, I tried to go to Google, I searched about it, but I didn't really find any answer. Why doesn't it work? I messed around with the Steam settings, hoping that will fix it. That didn't fix. Then I started blaming it on my Linux distribution. I was like, maybe Endeavor is not kind of able to handle it. So maybe it will work on Arch. So I went to Arch. I have another laptop with Arch. Installed Steam, installed Half-Life 2. I want to play Half-Life 2. It didn't work. But here's the good thing. I still was able to play games. There's that game called Combat Master, and I played more like Call of Duty, but like a ripoff. And it did work surprisingly so fucking well. And better than it did run on Windows. And it was really surprised. So here's the thing. It's a deal breaker that you're not going to be able to play all the games available on Linux. That's for sure. But there's nobody that will just, come to me and be like, oh, hey, I will play all those games. You cannot just play all thousands and thousands of games. Like the limits you might reach is like 1,000 games in your whole life. You cannot like play all kinds of games. Like me, I'm in my 20s, right? I don't know. I probably played less than 100 games or like 200 for the past 20 years of my life. Only like 200 or like 100 games. That's all I played. So you don't need to have all the support for all the games. How many games you play, dude? 100,000 games per day? No. The maximum is like 5 games or like 4 games. Maybe your library is like around 100. You don't need all those thousands and thousands of games. Unless like you're one of those people that are obsessed, that you just want to have everything and anything. You just like want to have any game. Doesn't matter. You just want to be able to play any kind of game. Yeah, I understand that feeling. It's like frustrating. You want to play your favorite game, but it's not supported on Linux. Sad, but that's not enough to hate on this, when you think about it. Well, my honest opinion about this is that I believe that in the next 5 years, at least in the next 5 years, there's going to be a big change in the market. A really big one. Linux is just going to get better and better and better and better. It's evolving. And Windows is going to go all the way down to the floor. Because Windows 11, when you look at Windows 11, the performance is just horrible. Let's be honest. Windows 10 was way better than Windows 11. It was given a way better experience. But Microsoft was like, no, it's on Windows 11. It's like super good. And then when people started using Windows 11, they started realizing that that thing consumed a lot of energy, a lot of resources for nothing, just background tasks. So no wonder why, the experience is going to be horrible. To the point where Microsoft was getting worried. Imagine a company with 70% market share is being worried about Linux that has only 4.1% market share. Unbelievable. And now with the existence of the Steam Deck, that's even worse for Microsoft. A lot of people started, buying Steam Decks and stuff. And they started realizing that it has Linux, more specifically Arch Linux. And it's not that bad. They can play their games just like they do on Windows. And some of them perform better on Linux. So they started realizing that, oh, wait, so this was a lie? All this time, I was being tricked by a greedy company that's Linux is super bad. That's where I thought myself, okay? When I first, started using Linux, I also had the hate on it. I was like, that's bad, that's horrible. Why is this like that? And why this is like that? And why this is like that? But then I realized like this is a whole different operating system. So of course it's going to be different. Don't be stupid. It's free. It's not paid. So expect some downsides. Overall, like in general, I think, and I believe that in the next 5 years, just like I said, the next 5 years, this number might double, This number will just go higher and higher. And no wonder if Windows 12 was released in the next 5 years, which probably going to be the case. Like, I believe, yeah, like soon that we will have either like a Windows 12 or Windows 13. I don't know what Microsoft's going to call this, but I'm going to say that there's going to be some competition, which we already have right now. There's a lot of competition between Microsoft and, Linux and all that. When it's about the gaming experience, I don't talk about, the overall experience with, your day-to-day tasks. I'm talking about gaming. And pretty much it. This was really my opinion about Linux gaming. I've been yapping, not talking for so long, but at least I shared how I feel. I love to share my feelings with you guys. I love to share my experience, even though I'm not able to, share 100% with it. At least when it's about gaming, for example, I cannot share my gaming experience because I don't have a capture card. If I did have one, I was going to record everything, even like, the benchmarks and all of that, but without a capture card, I'm not able to. Definitely I'll buy one in the future and do this kind of benchmarks where I compare Windows to Linux and see which one is better. But for now, I will stick to that. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like in the comments. And one more thing, I want your comments to be your opinion. Leave your opinion down below. I'm interested to know. See you the next one. Bye.